Okay, I think this is working. But oh girl, I got a big neck. I got Noah neck kind of neck. But yeah, so this is a little bit different, but this is something that I have wanted to do for a while. For anyone that's watching, uh you probably know that, I release music. But I kind of like wanted to make podcast episodes about it because I thought it'd be interesting, and I think that it would be like a good way to get like content out there when I'm not releasing music, because it's kind of like a lame duck period right now. But yeah, I mean, I have to be very careful because this green button, if I even put an ounce of pressure on that and it turns red, it cuts off the mic. So I have to make sure not only that I can see the green, but I can also see the audio bar moving, because as soon as it doesn't, then the audio cuts out. So I have to make a very good eye to that. But yeah, I mean, this is just my microphone that I use for singing. I just don't have the arm with me because I was not about to bring that over here. The fuck. But I probably will when I make more home. I'm at my neighbor's house because they're out of town. But yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, it's really weird because it's like flipped. I keep seeing that, but I feel like if I were to flip it the other way, I would not look good. Also, the way my teeth are super, like they look really weird, but we're just gonna go with it. 'Cause I'm super self conscious about myself with anything, and then I look back like 3 months later, and I'm like, "Girl, you look just fine. Girl, you look fine. Just grow, get over yourself." You might hear a kitty. You might hear a kitty, so don't be surprised. But yeah, I just wanted to make some episodes because I thought like that'd be kind of cool. This is also the same microphone that I use for singing. Well, for the deluxe version, this is the one that I use. That's why everything was remastered, because I got better mic. But if I also keep hitting it, oh well, we're just gonna have to deal with that. Hi, buddy. Yeah. So I plan on making episodes about each track, I guess. Don't expect them to be too frequently. It's literally just gonna be whenever I have free time, or whenever I think of it, or whenever I have like a script by script, or there's like ideas to go off of. So don't expect it too often. That's the only thing I'll say, because even with my streaming, like when I play Fortnite and stuff, that comes very rare and in between because I don't be playing that much, because I'm kind of a busy bee. So I have a life. But yeah, so this is the first episode. I'm not gonna cover really any songs, I wanna say, in depth, because I wanna make episodes for each song, if that makes sense. Just like quick 30-minute episodes. It's not gonna be like an hour-long thing. Or it might be. And if it is, that's just what it's gonna have to be, because I really don't give a fuck, because I can do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah. Necessarily anything bad about anyone. But like if you listen to them, they're not all bad. They're not all bad. Some of this stuff, like some of the songs aren't not about over here to spread your name and let you get clout. Like the fuck? No. So but oh well. There we go, I just clicked it. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. So I want this episode, I think, to be more about like the background, I'd say. like what basically what made me start music, I guess. I think I'm going to put it quite plainly. I think it came with me, I don't want to say coming out, but coming to terms with who I am, I guess you could say. It was just something along the way. I think that kind of like channeled it. And people in my life will tell me, oh, you've always denied being gay. No, I just didn't know what I was either. Like, you're over here asking me if I was gay at the ripe age of 7. Like, bitch, I don't fucking know. I literally don't fucking know. I'm literally just living life. And for like the longest time, I was asexual, meaning I did not have a desire to date anyone, do anything with anyone. I didn't have an interest in anyone. Because for a long period of time, everyone pissed me the fuck off. So there was like at a point in my life where I didn't have a preference because I didn't like anyone. So, I don't know. There was never any denying that I wasn't straight. It was always from a standpoint of like I didn't know who I was, I guess you could say. But yeah, I would say that like my experiences leading up to that and revolve around it kind of channeled this. And I guess you could say that's like what started it. But yeah, I know that some people might know this, some people might not, but before all these liars I've trusted, which is, you know, what this podcast is for, I guess you could say my music career started a little bit before that. I mean, I think that kind of goes for anyone, though. I really think that goes for anyone. Like, I think that anyone's music career dates further back than like their first work or like their first debut work. Like, even just like think of Lana Del Rey. Like, if we go back all the way to like 2005, she had like Pretty Like Me, or no, I think it was Young Like Me, under like Lizzie Grant. And then she went to May Jailer. And then she went back to Lizzie Grant. And then she went to Lana Del Rey with an A. She had like 3 albums before she had 2 albums. She had May Jailer, Sirens, and then Lana Del Rey, a.k.a. Lizzie Grant, and then Born to Die. She had 2 albums before even Born to Die. But, so yeah, mine's not like that far back. Like, it's literally just me being in 6th grade thinking that I could, like, you know, be famous. And then never actually, like, officially publishing a work. That's all that it was. Also, don't mind the fireplace behind me. This camera on my laptop, my $2,000 laptop's kind of ass, but it's kind of retro. It's kind of retro. But yeah. So, like I said, I just wanted to make this during a period where I have no new music coming out. Obviously, I'm working on stuff, but I thought this would be a good little filler, as one of my friends at school would call it fluff. It's a good fluff. Some good fluff. But I also think that it leaves me to like explain and describe my music in a chronological order and explain it more effectively. Because like, especially with my future work, some people are not going to get it and not going to get the story and the plot. And I think that by me making this, it will help the people who don't already know what it's about learn like what's the origin and like the story behind it. You know what I mean? Because obviously this doesn't go for all artists, but at least for me, I love it when artists make an album that has a story or where their albums connect. Like Ethel Cain is like a prime example. This like the fictional story that she has within Preacher's Daughter that connects to her life in some aspects, but not totally. Like obviously she's not going to sing about a completely fictional life, but there's some songs that she fictionally created and then she continued into her next work called Perverts. Hopefully that word doesn't what's the word called? Demonetize. There we go. But it's just cool how she makes all these albums connect, or they even have just all the same eerie feeling with being their own like personal projects. So at least for me, I would like to do that with my music because I think that's very, very creative. It shows very creative, and honestly, I think it makes you stand out. Like I may not be famous now, and not saying that I'm going to be famous in the future, but I definitely think that individuality and creativeness is what helps someone become famous. And like, who wants to be like every other bitch? Not me. Not me. I want to be creative, and I want somebody to be like, oh my God, like how he creates a story or how he connects his albums. Like, I want to be known for that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it allows it to make more sense. But also, I know that Halsey did this. I think she did with like her podcast was like called like Nightmare or something like that. But it honestly wasn't even about her music all the time. It was just simply like checkups. But I think it's just cool. I think it's cool. And for the people who want to see it, will see it. And for the people who don't want to see it, they don't have to watch it. You know, I mean, I don't think it hurts anything. And it's just one of those things I wanted to do. Ooh, shit. But yeah. So, like I said, this episode's gonna be more of like the background of my career. Sounds stupid because I don't have a career. Motherfucker, you don't have a career. How are you gonna have a background of it if you don't have one, motherfucker? The background of my passion, my hobby, you know, like what got me here. Go kill yourself. Oh. Who said that? Who said that? But, hi, buddy. He's an EP kitty. So yeah. So, this is really embarrassing. I guess you could say it dated back to 2019. Like, literally. I look so fucking pale. But, I guess you could say it dated back to 2019. When on Instagram Shorts, Instagram Reels, I uploaded. This is actually so embarrassing, but I need like this to be included. I uploaded like a parody, I guess you could say. Is that what it is? When you like, it's like not a cover, but it's also not a remix of Billie Eilish's Everything I Wanted. And I titled it We Had a Nightmare because she said in the song, it could have been a nightmare. And I said, she's a genius. I want to say that. And I did. Did 12-year-old me at the time know how to fully release a song? No, I thought if I put it on Instagram, then somebody would release it for me. The fuck? Did that happen? No, because it was absolute utter dog shit. Like, I'm not even gonna joke with you when I say this. Do you want to know how I? Okay, so this was a song. The song was a music video. Okay, so I had this little black speaker, this little black and red speaker, and it was sitting on a shelf, and I had the instrumental going, and then here I am doing this fuck ass music video. It was so bad. It was actually so bad. And the girl that I did it with, like the music video with, we had so many takes. And it was still ass. Like, what were we doing at the ripe age of 12 and 13? Like, you're not going to be famous. But it was so ass. And the audio, I sung live time with the audio, with the instrumental from the speaker. It was picked up from my iPhone XR. And we said, and that's the song? I'm going to be famous. I literally thought that. And I just have to say a thank you to all the people in my life who literally commented on that video saying, I love this, my new favorite song. I love that she'd lie for me. That really shows a lot that you would actually take the effort to lie for me. And then I thought, like a year later, I'm going to redo it. So instead of doing the music video, I sat next to the speaker and sung in one take. And I thought, I sound so good. I don't need to redo it. Motherfucker, you're an idiot. But I guess I can give the background for that. I guess the story with that song, it is also seen in songs like Number One on my album that I professionally released, actually, instead of on just Instagram. But basically, 6th grade was a whirlwind. You know, after everyone was telling me I was gay, I was like, you know what? Fine. Fine. And I liked this guy for the plot. That's basically what I was doing. Because everybody was like, okay, you're gay. So I was like, okay, I guess I am. So I liked this guy for the plot. And this bitch was a dick. This bitch was such a fucking dick. Like, dude, I don't even like you. I actually did. I did. But I liked him for the plot. Like, I guess I like the idea. Because I can never differentiate when I like people. Is that, like, do I actually like them for the person they are? And do I actually think that they're beautiful? Or do I just like the idea of them giving me attention? And I literally like this guy for attention. That's literally it. I wanted his attention. That's it. Which is kind of crazy because I don't really like when people give me attention because it feels very awkward. But I wanted his attention. And I literally think it was just for the plot. But the plot turned out to be really bad. And I guess I'll get more into it when I do number 1. But basically, this bitch was a dick to me. And I was like, if you knew how that hurt my feelings, would you do it again? 100%. 100%. Who the fuck wouldn't? Sixth grade me? Who the fuck would not humble me up? I would right now. So the guy was actually probably doing me a favor, but I don't care. He's still a dick. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't care what your motive is. If you hurt my feelings, you're a dick. Okay? Okay. So yeah, music career started back in 2019 with We Had a Nightmare. Sorry, Billie Eilish, but you inspired that, okay? This is what happens when you inspire young teens. This is what happens. And then I decided I'm going to make an EP. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to make an EP. Because I literally thought that I was going to have a music career from this. And I don't know if I knew how to do it. I think I thought the exact same way. I think I thought, I'll just upload it on Instagram. Like, girl, what about SoundCloud? Girl, SoundCloud exists. Why are we doing it on Instagram Reels? Why are we doing it on these Facebook Shorts? Do it on SoundCloud. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to make an EP from this. Totally. And I didn't even have a name for the EP. I literally didn't even have the name for the EP. But I was like, I'm going to make an EP. I don't even know if I was going to title it. I ended up titling it, but that's not until later. I don't think that at this point I had a title for it. And I don't think I thought I was going to. But there was some songs on there. Like, I'm trying to think of what was on there. It was We Had a Nightmare, Say It, Someone New, Bye Forever, and Burn Everything Down, which I'll get into that in a second, and then Hidden Love. So 7 songs. Obviously, 2 songs from that became real. Say It and Bye Forever. Those were objectively, I think those were, I am not even kidding when I tell you this. Those were the only 2 songs on there that, one, I fully wrote. That cat fucking scared me. And 2, like those were the only 2 complete written songs, and the 2 that actually came from my head. Well, I guess only Bye Forever, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, We Had a Nightmare. That was a whirlwind. It was a nightmare. Let's just say that. It was perfectly titled as We Had a Nightmare because everybody had a nightmare listening to it, and I had a nightmare of a time fucking reacting to it, and I made it. So yeah, some songs in there became real that were put on my album, which was Say It and Bye Forever. Another song, Someone New. I've kept the title. Which is going to be a song. It's going to be a song. That's all I'll say. But I kept the title. I don't think I ever wrote anything during this period for that song. I think I just named. I was like, ooh, Someone New. Like that. I like that title. I don't think I wrote anything for it. But I have a song for. I have a song. It's a song. I just reused the title. I think that's literally it. But yeah, that wants to be on a future project. But so yeah, I got Say It and Bye Forever, which Say It, I want to say I completely wrote that one on my own. And then a little bit later on, I realized, wow, this sounds a lot like Billie Eilish's Bury a Friend. Well, it really doesn't sound like it, but it's like, why don't you care for me? Why do you hate me? It kind of sounds like the, what are you wondering? What do you know? I didn't know that at first. It probably was in the back of my mind. Like, that's probably what gave me the inspiration. I just didn't know it, you know? Sorry, y'all. I'm going to keep banging this mic, and I really don't care. But yeah, but Bye Forever was completely made on my own. Like that one, I came up with the whole melody, the structure, the songwriting, the production, all that. But Say It and Bye Forever, they had alternate versions. Like Say It was supposed to be acoustic. Looking back at it, like maybe for like a 10-year anniversary, I don't know. I always think about making it just acoustic for the hell of it, because I think it could be. It could be, I think, with like a bass line. And Bye Forever, I guess you could say I changed the melody a little bit with the production, but there never was production. There was never a different production, I guess you could say, for Bye Forever, other than Say It. Like Bye Forever had a little bit more of a different melody. It was more of a, all I want to say is bye forever, instead of what it is now. But that was a little too, I feel like it was a little too corny. So yeah, so that one had a different version as well. So there was We Had a Nightmare, Say It, Bye Forever, Someone New. Oh, Burn Everything Down. Okay, this is a little crazy. So it was another parody remix thing, kind of like We Had a Nightmare, which was from Everything I Wanted. Burn Everything Down was heavily inspired off of, it was honestly just a complete repeat over and over again of the chorus of You Should See Me in a Crown. I don't know what I thought I was doing. I thought I was being innovative. So glad that this project never came out, because it would have been so embarrassing. But yeah, it was a complete remix of You Should See Me in a Crown. So that there's literally nothing else to it. There's no more fluff to it. That's literally it. And then there was Hidden Love, which was, again, never a song written. It literally was just a song that was like, ooh, I like that title. I'll write a song about that. Never did. And I was going to have a feature on it, which I'm not going to say who it was because it's irrelevant. But that never ended up happening along with this EP. So, yeah, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But I ended up, after I tried making this EP work. I really did. Like, I even came up with a album cover and everything. It was like me laying on my bed. But it was honestly, if I remember, it was kind of cinematic. It was low-key cinematic with my bleached blonde hair. And like, it was like it was kind of cinematic. I look nothing like I did, but I tried to make it work. I made an album cover for it. I named this Love Lost. Bitch, you gotta have love for it to be lost, you motherfucker. Just kidding. But, Love Lost. There was no title track, but I guess kind of like Someone New, I'm reusing that title. Yeah, I'm using that title. So, yeah. But there was never ever a song named Love Lost, but I'm just reusing that title. Because I was like, 35,000 years down the road, I'm going to look back and be like, ugh, see, that's recalling to my roots. Probably what I'm going to do. Fucking old hag. But, yeah. So I tried to revive this project, or tried to make it happen by uploading an album cover. But it honestly fell out along with, like, the feature. So the person I was going to do a feature with, we fell out. And I guess you could say that I think that was after I tried making this project work. it was kind of the solidifying moment that it was like, oh, this is probably never going to happen. Is because me and that person that was supposed to be featuring fell out. Yeah. So I guess you can go into time after Love Lost. So in between Love Lost and All These Liars I've Trusted. I knew that I wanted to continue music, I guess you could say, because I thought it'd be really cool. Like, I thought I was so important. I thought everybody wanted to know about me. So I was like, I need to make music. Pipe down. Pipe down, Nunu, pipe down. But I thought everybody wanted to know about my life. So I was like, I'm gonna make music. So I think anybody in my immediate life can know I was always this bitch. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make an album. Oh, an album's coming out. I said this since like end of 6th grade. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have an album come out. Hey, album didn't come out until freshman year. Just want to let that be known. So, I had a burp. But, yeah. But so this is actually crazy work because I don't know if I should say this now or until I get to that song. But I came up with the title of the album from I've Had Enough, which is the last track on the Standard album. I came up with the album title from that song because the chorus goes, all these liars that I've trusted, they're so ugly and so busted. But I came up with the title from that track after me and one of my ex-friends, we like reworded that whole song to be like so corny. Like, we did it on purpose. I don't think that some people realize that. Like, it's not actual bars. We literally wrote that to be funny. Like, she didn't even know that I was going to release it. She's like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is so fucking corny. Yeah, that's the fucking point. But yeah, we just like reworked it for fun. I said, you know what? No, this is going to be a song. This is going to be a song. So I was like, you know what? We're going to get the album name from the song. And it fit perfectly because there was someone in the, like, not from like my school life. Me and her were like an on and off friendship, and she was a liar. All she did was lie. And with the friend that I was supposed to have the feature with, it was like, all these liars that I trusted. That's kind of like fire. Girl, it's so boring. But all these liars I trusted is kind of like what I came up with. And I honestly, like, I think it's like the idea of my first album is like such like a good first album idea. Like, I don't want to sound like too overzealous, but like it sounds like such a perfect idea. Like, it gives you, like, I don't want to say my villain arc, but like for my future albums to be like more soft, it like makes so much sense. I don't know how to describe it, but it just makes so much sense to me. So yeah, and then there was this kid in the area I lived. He and I also had an on and off friendship, but that was for a different reason, which we'll get into later. But he was also one of those that lied. And I was like, all these liars I've trusted. This is perfect. Every single problem that I have is for these people that lie. I said, this is perfect. Which we'll get into in like a later episode, how much that title just works for everything. How much I was like, okay, I can add this song to this album because that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Because the theme of the album, which I'll further get into, but like every single song that I wrote for it, because I kind of had these songs, no, not necessarily, but like it all fit the theme of like liars that I've once trusted. You know what I mean? Like, it was all people who I once thought I trusted, friendships ending, relationships ending. Like, it was like perfect. And I was like, perfect. And like the angst I get from it. You know what I mean? Not like, well, I guess there was some songs that were like showing more vulnerable moments, but yeah. So I knew I wanted to continue making music. So I just kept throwing out album covers. Oh, like Tristan Johnson, all these liars I've trusted. I can literally go back. Let me go to the Canva. This is going down with the archives, okay? This is not coming out. I still have this on here because it's kind of embarrassing, but at least for me, it's something I need to keep. I think I kept it in here. But I just kept spewing out album covers. I said, yeah, we're going to do this. Oh, this is the album cover for this album that's going to come out. I think I might have gotten rid of it. Maybe I didn't name it Say It. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, here's the album cover for this album that's probably never going to come out. Like, there was like this pink album cover, and then there was this like lighter album cover, and then there was the one that we had now. Like, there was so many album covers that I came out with. Because I was trying to build up hype 3 years before it was even done. Like, I literally kept spewing out these album covers without having an actual track list. Or the songs fully written. I didn't even know when I was going to release this. Like, the fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing? But yeah, I knew that I wanted to put Say It and Bye Forever on this album because those two were like actually my songs. Like, I came up with the writing and everything on my own. Like, it wasn't a parody or any dumb shit like that. So I was like, I'm going to put this on the album whenever it comes out. I don't think I plan on Say It being the first song, but I think it fit well. And I also think it fit well with it being like the first single. Just because it was like the longest. It was like the first song I created. So I think it made sense. But yeah. So I fixed Say It and Bye Forever. I did a different instrumental, and I came up with something I liked. I think that for this album, I don't think people realize this, but it's experimental. It's something new. I don't like the production style. It's not something that you expect, and it doesn't fit in the boxes of stuff that's already come out. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's very true and personal to me, the production. I don't want to say like I'm before my time, because that sounds really stupid, but I honestly think it's like just a genre of music that, or like a subdivision of music that's not common. You know what I mean? It's not something that anybody expects. Now, for my future work, it's a little bit more cut and copy, like traditional sounding music. But I knew that with all these artists I've trusted, it's not that it was bad, because I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, is this bad? I'm like, no, this is just something that's not really done. Like, the style of the music, I was like, this is just not common. You know what I mean? I definitely will say that Cutting Ties and Dummies is a little bit more, like, I don't want to say single worthy. I don't know. But I feel like All These Liars I've Trusted fits really good as an album. It's not made for the charts. Like, the songs are not made for the charts. They're made for the listeners. It's made for the artists. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's very true. Like, it's a weird thing to explain. But, so yeah. So I changed the instrumentals on Say It and Bye Forever, and I made sure that I was going to include those in the song. And then, number 1, number 2, and number 3. I think they've always had that title. I couldn't always tell you. I can tell you. But I know for a fact that each of them were not supposed to have a chorus. They were supposed to be like 4, 5, 6 stanza lyric songs without a chorus. They were just supposed to be all verse. And I realized that at least one stanza? I realized that one stanza in each of the songs could have worked as a chorus, and they were each supposed to be like 2-3 minutes. Number 2, obviously being the exception, being one of the longest songs on the album because it's slower. But yeah, they were before I rewrote them to have a chorus, they were only supposed to be like 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute songs. Like they were supposed to be kind of short. Like I think like number one was like a minute and 50 seconds. Like that's like what I mean. So they weren't really supposed to be all that long. Why Now? Why Now and Stop were both written around the same time. So they were kind of like Peace in a Pod. So like Say It and Bye Forever were kind of Peace in a Pod. Number one, number two, number three were Peace in a Pod. Why and Stop? Why Now and Stop? Because I think that because they're both about the same people is kind of like why I wrote them together and like why they're Peace in a Pod, even though they're not next to each other in the album. But Why Now and Stop, they were both written at the same time. And until I got to the production, I always liked Why Now better. But I think that Stop is like the most underrated song from my album. And I think it's kind of obvious. It's like, oh, you probably think that because you're the artist. Oh, well, you're not credible because you're the artist. But I think it is. Like, I love the production on that song. Like, I unironically like it. Like, as like listening to it, I like it. I think the vocals on it are also very experimental. It's different from the rest of the album. But yeah. So Why Now and Stop were written together, and then Say It, number one, number two, number three. Why Now, Bye Forever, Stop. Explain. So Explain was also supposed to be one of the singles, but I just didn't have the time for it because the distributor I had, they were like, yeah, you can do free releases every 28 days. And I knew that I wanted the album to come out on a certain day, and I just wasn't going to make the time for it. So Explain wasn't one of the singles. And looking back at it, I'm glad it wasn't because Say It and Bye Forever did pretty good as singles. But I feel like if I put in Explain, it wouldn't have done that great, and it wouldn't have built hype for the album. You know what I mean? I don't think that it would have altered expectations. I don't know. It would have done poorly, and then the expectation that the album would also do poorly based off of Explain. I think it's good that I didn't include it as a single. But it was also written after Bye Forever. It was like the trio was Say It, Bye Forever, and Explain. There's not much else to it other than going in too deep about the music for that song, but that's going to get its own episode. And then I've Had Enough, like I said, that was just a random song. That was like honestly before I really wrote. That was the third song I want to say that I wrote, other than before. It was after Say It and Bye Forever, but it was the rest of the other songs off the album. But I'll say I'm gonna leave like the deluxe songs and that shit for another day because I feel like that's just good for a different episode. But yeah, I don't think I could have gone more into detail without intruding on another episode for those songs. Release days and all that, like this and the story and the motivation behind those, I think that those should come. Like the story behind those should come later after I talk about each of the tracks in depth on their own, because it'll be easier for me to reference the songs or like the meaning behind the release days after I go in depth about the lyrics. But yeah, the songs, when I get to their own episode, the songs will, like, I'll give like person 1, person 2, person 3. Like you'll build, like there'll be a personality for these people that will be built when I talk about these songs, which will go hand in hand with like me talking about the songs, the release days and shit like that once you get like the personalities of people. But yeah, that honestly should be it. I'm honestly thinking, this is pretty stupid, but I'm honestly thinking of like doing maybe like a live episode for next episode, which I'm gonna talk about Say It in depth. on next episode. And I might even do that on Say It's birthday, which is the 19th of March. I know that sounds like so far away, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to have the motivation to do another episode until like in a while. So I might do that. And if when I upload this, if I get people saying to do a live episode, I will. I'm probably going to do it anyway. But people will know up leading to it that I'm going to do a live episode. That way I can like talk with the audience, if there is any. That way I can talk with people and chat, and I can answer their questions or like write it down to talk about later in the episode. That way you don't really forget about it. But yeah. So yeah, this episode was really just talking about the story of my music career before my first album and like what led up to it, and I guess you could say like inspirations of my life. Later on with this sort of idea, I'll do each of their songs will get their own episode probably, unless it's short, or even like the people that I wrote the songs about, because each should because there's at least like 2 songs for each person. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I might like include episodes of each person. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah. I'm going to do these kind of episodes because it's going to be a little bit of just like a boring era for me as an artist because I don't have anything coming out. Sorry if you guys were expecting something. Because I'm working on new music and I feel like this is like a good way of getting something out. So yeah. Hopefully these will help you guys understand like the motives behind my albums. But yeah. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys whenever I make another one.